Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet actor and singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, Caleb Landry Jones. Caleb is probably best known as an actor. He's been in everything from Get Out to 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. He was even in the Twin Peaks revival, The Return. But he is also a pretty accomplished and eclectic musician. And in this chat, we talk quite a bit about his most recent album, Gadzooks Volume 2, which is a sequel to his Volume 1 from last year. And we do get into his film career, especially in how it ties in with his music career. We talk about how his love of both film and music kind of started in his childhood and how that has manifested throughout his life, how his relationship with these two realms has changed and altered over time. We talk about the foundational films in his life, like Tim Burton's Batman or Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. And we even get into a few hot takes in our discussion of contemporary cinema. So look forward to that. Caleb spoke to me with candor, humility, and warmth, and it was a really good time, and I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you for listening. This is me meeting Caleb Landry Jones.
Oh no, thank you, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate you
Giving me a
taking...
spot to sell my album.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever we're doing here.
No, that's definitely part of what we're doing. We will definitely be talking about the album, which I'm sure you can tell me I'm saying wrong. Gadzooks?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good enough for me. So we'll get
I
there
don't
in
know
a
if you
minute.
ever watched Gomer Pyle or anything like that, but
No.
he'd say Gadzooks, you know.
Oh, is that where that's from?
I think that's where I remember it from.
All right.
I typed it into Google to make sure it wasn't anything offensive.
I know, right? You got to be careful.
No, it was. Yeah, especially these days.
Yeah.
But
All right.
typing it in and seeing that there was a store, I think a music store or something like that called Gadzooks, and
Oh.
I don't remember where in America, but I think a few places. I thought,
Well, that's fitting though.
hopefully, yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a toy store. I can't remember.
Also, kind of fitting though. Well, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got a few cups of coffee in me, 6 or 7 hours of sleep. So
That's not bad.
no, it's great.
That's probably more than I have.
See there.
So good. I'm glad you're good. Where are you calling from right now?
Right now I'm in Plano, Texas.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, as you alluded to before, we part of why we're here, part of why we are hosting this episode right now is to talk about your album, which is coming up very soon. This month, I believe, very soon.
On election day.
Right. Okay. Well, that's okay.
When you're out getting, voting right after,
Right.
you can head to the music store since you're already out,
Yeah, why not?
Well, I mean,
So
I think a lot of people would have a lot of reasons why not. Sounded good to me just now.
does sound good. And it might cheer you up a little bit.
Well, yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
So yeah, the new record, Gadzooks, we should mention it's Volume 2. Last year you had a Volume 1 come out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a Volume 2 coming out. May I jump the gun and ask, is this a whole series or is the Gadzooks saga over?
No, it ends here, thank God. No, I did this album. The first album I put out was called The Mother Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I did that record, and by the time I got back from filming a job, I'd written another album, and even though I was supposed to concentrate on mixing and mastering and editing the first album, instead we kind of jumped straight into recording another one, which meant then we had to put that on pause and go back and mix and master and the first one. And then I was kind of left with about, roughly 2 hours of music almost. And I didn't want to just put out, 45, 50 minutes of music on a vinyl and everything else, go to waste more or less. So
Mm.
The idea was to split it in two, and even then, there's about 5 or 6 songs that I think won't make either record just because of vinyls and how much information you're able to put on them
Yeah. So
without
volume one and
losing.
two were volume one and two were kind of composed around the same time.
Oh, they were it's really technically it's really one album. It was
Okay.
and the last song on the first album is really the last song of both, But
Okay.
I kind of wanted to end the first album with it. It's like a 20 something minute, like kind of just
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
loosey goosey experiment, more or less. But
Yeah. Well, it's a finale.
yeah, yeah. Well, I remember getting to the end of, a 2 hour record or 1 and 40 minutes or whatever, and it just felt like something was missing. So plug the keyboard in and let's see how long we can go for. 20 minutes later, okay, bring us back to the top and let's try another pass.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the Mother Stone's kind of longer too, so it seems like you kind
Yeah.
of often compose in these sort of larger scales. Although you fit the Mother Stone onto one release.
Yeah, I'm sure we lost a little bit of, definition towards the each end of each side, but so I didn't want to do that again.
Mm,
Um, and there was no way I could fit it all, so it was kind of pointless. But the reason why I think the songs are that kind of way is just because usually I'm writing them in a different place, which
hmm.
means I have to hold on to them for longer. So I'll play guitar, and before you know it, you got a song. And then the next day or a few hours later, you pick it up again to go through it, and you find yourself getting to something else. And before you know it, you got another song, and you go,
Yeah.
"Oh man, those are in the same key. Well, might as well just make it one song." Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been for the studio albums. That's been the kind of process over the last few years. Is really just they build and build and build until I feel like okay, that's a solid hour, and then
Yeah.
and hopefully, I'm able to get in to the studio by then. But if I don't, then you get what we got now, which is a 2 hour thing, which means I had too much time before I was able to get in to do anything about it.
Because you
And
just kept creating.
yeah, not really out of the sense of to create or anything, just kind of through boredom or
Yeah.
still something left in the well that you need to get out, and that's
Yeah.
how I choose to get it out.
So
Better than
then,
screaming from the balcony at the people that pass by.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so then now I'm like, you're sort of recontextualizing this record a bit for me because I don't know if I had realized that they were born from the same, pool.
No, that's all right. As
Um,
many times as I tell people, they still write something else, 9 out of 10. So
right. So then what's the sort of drive behind the Gadzooks saga? Like what were you sort of after with it? Maybe even sonically, thematically, and then what are you kind of hoping we get from hearing this last part of it?
sadly, it's probably a response to what people thought of the first record. I hate to say it, but I think I wanted to do something that was a bit just as wild and bombastic as it happens naturally. You don't really
Hmm.
I don't really have to think about that too much. It kind of just happens. But I don't know. I think I wanted to. We did this record all on tape, both of these records on tape. So that was the first time recording to tape for an entire record. And I think it was just kind of furthering along the relationship that I'd started with my producer Nick Jordan. And so yeah, it was just kind of about furthering along what we kind of started. And I didn't really think too much about stuff except for that some of the things that critics and people had told me about my first album kind of stuck there. But I think some songs are a result of that fighting it, and some I think are probably trying. I think that's why there's a 20-minute track of just nonsense
Right.
because I'm so ticked off that people said music needed to be this way, or an album needed to be this or that, when I don't believe that at all.
So when you say it's the response, it's based off the response of you mean you like doubled down?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I tried to make things a little bit more concrete of some kind, or a little more tangible for other people. Something, a few more earworms in that kind of way. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I just know that the response from the first album was still pretty heavy in my head, because I think I was reading those things while I was writing it and stuff. Uh, so I was pretty I don't know, kind of pissed off that, critics seem to build you up to tear you down in the next sentence afterwards. And just,
Yeah.
and now I'm done with it. But at that time, that was the first time I'd read any kind of response to my music, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it at all. So
You mean you're done looking at that?
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
I think it was a good thing to do, but I don't know how to explain it exactly. I mean, I don't think that was the force behind the record at all, but it
Right.
was definitely a part of it. Uh,
Right.
just other people's voices in my head, and good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like a song for me can be a bunch of different things. It can change from line to line, or word to word, even.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that the brain kind of naturally just fragments things in that kind of way, and I haven't stopped it, by any means.
Yeah. It's interesting that you would, maybe not even on purpose, obviously, but sort of compose a record while reading reviews of your last record. I wonder how
Well, I mean,
frequent,
I
how
always say
frequently that kind of thing,
it's not like getting on the computer and reading
no, sure,
and then
sure.
going to the guitar.
But just that they coincided at all is sort of interesting.
Yeah, and I was on a film. Director was Miguel Sapochnik. This film Finch, and I was in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of playing a robot with Tom Hanks, and so I have no idea why I needed to write an album while I was trying to be a robot, but
Maybe to tap back into humanity. I don't know.
maybe. Well, the whole thing of the movie was kind of yeah, about the soul, and about personality, and the fact that he builds this robot, but he can't control what it is, because he gave it a mind of its own.
Mm,
So of course the robot asks too many questions, and is insensitive sometimes, and shoots for more than he can get, and I don't know, but I know there was a lot of stuff that just felt kind of left over that I wasn't able to put into the film, because the character wasn't like that, or didn't have. And I think
mm-hmm.
music was the place to put everything else that was left over that I couldn't get out, like it
Yeah.
usually is.
Yeah, I mean, I read somewhere that, probably another interview with you somewhere else, that that you very often are sort of bringing an instrument to set and sort of always sort of,
No, no, no. I never bring an instrument to sit.
you never do.
No, no, that's what I mean by you talk to people, and then I think podcasts are good because.
I maybe I'm misquoting. I mean, I don't even remember where I
Yeah,
got it, but
yeah,
that
you're
I
probably
thought.
not. I think I remember with the first record, a lot of people said it's accumulation of all the songs he's written since he's 18. I'm like, what? What are you guys talking about? It's new
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah.
no matter how many times I said it, people still wrote something else. But no, I don't. In fact, on that film, I didn't bring an instrument to the film because I had so much work to do trying to be a
Mm.
robot that I thought bringing an instrument would get in the way. But I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks into starting or whatever. I went to a pawn shop, got a guitar, just because I was left back at the hotel, with a lot of things left over and nothing to do with it.
Hmm.
And I felt like I was kind of just being bad to myself if I didn't, or being bad to the project even.
Yeah.
Somehow it would enter into the project, and there were feelings and emotions and whatnot that I didn't think were necessarily right for
Yeah.
for the character, and kind of a kind of a what do you call it, a tightrope kind of act of kinds, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been on film for quite a few years now, since you were a teenager. Were you always playing music too? Is that a teenager thing
Oh
too?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I used to have a band with my buddy Robert. We were called Robert Jones, and we played in Deep Ellum, on the weekends. A friend of mine and Roberts that we met, Hal Samples, had a place called The Space, which was, he'd have different art shows and artists coming in on the weekend and giving free beer, to the anybody
Mm.
that came in. I thought they were coming to see us in the art. Turns out, I think a lot of people just came for the beer, but and that was just a really, really great thing for us. And then, of course, college set in and the ideas of what are you going to do with your life. And I remember hearing some interview with Modest Mouse saying it takes 10 years or something before you get anywhere with music. And so I thought,
Mm.
okay, let's scrap that for now. Little did I know acting was going to take a good 10 years too, just to feel like you got a pinky in the door.
Right.
So I think
So
all good things take time.
right.
I don't think there's a quick fix for anything. And if there is, you should probably be worried about it because it'll probably
that's probably true.
go away just as fast as it comes.
Right, right. I know, yeah, no, it's risky to take anything like that for granted. So I would imagine if you were interested in getting into acting in some way that there were people who sort of were formative to you in that realm. Are there music equivalents of that? Like who really sort of formed you when you were young and like coming into loving music?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely frank, I think Keith Green was an artist, a Christian artist that I liked as a child. And I think at about, my mom was telling, I thought it was 8, but my mom was telling me a few days ago, she thinks I was like 5 or 6. I think when I heard Sergeant Pepper's, and that really,
Mm,
really blew my mind. And then, after that, it was, people like Stevie Ray Vaughan or in my dad's truck, or Hank Williams,
mm,
But I think the thing I identified most was, that Sergeant Pepper's album because I'd never heard anything like that. I didn't know you could play with the feelings that they were introducing for me, which were scary, exciting, um, kind of this just wild mix of stuff I didn't know was allowed.
yeah, no, yeah.
And my mom, she's like, "You heard it then? Oh my gosh!" I'm going, "Oh no, no, it was great." It really helped me. But
Yeah, you don't understand this was a good thing.
yeah, but I mean, there's so many artists. It's hard to really say.
Yeah,
But Cat Stevens played a big part at 15, or Simon and Garfunkel.
yeah.
At 16 to DC Talk, another Christian band when I was probably like 12. To then getting into bands like Radiohead, then getting into other more esoteric like Zappa or but to be honest, I probably still listen to most of the music I did when I was 16, 17, T-Rex,
Yeah,
Talking
yeah, I
Heads.
feel like I kind of do that too. I think a lot of us do that.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll come across something like a Zappa or something later in life, and
Hmm.
it does the same thing for me that some of these guys did at 16, 17. But it's pretty rare, I find, that, or Randy Newman, or someone like
Yeah.
that I'd never really given the time of day to until maybe like 8 years ago or something. And then I go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Or I remember being like 20 or 21 and finding Harry Nielsen kind of all over again since I'd seen what was that movie with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan? Like
Am I gonna embarrass myself by guessing it's You've Got Mail?
no, you're correct. Yeah,
Okay.
Dave Chappelle. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many of them, man. It is
Yeah,
tough, and I do think it's important probably not to have too many influences, but
sure.
just I think at 15, 14, 13, 16, 17, I think you're just soaking up as much as you can. And to be honest, the more I do it myself, the less I'm really listening to anybody else. Not because just because of time, I think, you spend 8 hours, 14 hours in a day making music. You don't leave wanting to, necessarily turn on the radio
Right.
or anything. Uh,
No, that makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, okay, so before I move on to lapsing into talking about some of your film side of your life, I usually when I'm about to interview someone, I will ask people in the beats per minute, the website I work for,
Oh yeah.
I ask them sort of, hey, I'm interviewing, XYZ. What do you want to know? And sometimes I take their questions. So I felt
Oh
before I
yeah,
move on to your film,
absolutely.
yeah. So before I move on to your film, one of my
What
colleagues
kind of
wanted,
drawers do I wear? Or
no, no one asks that
what
really.
side of the bread did I put my butter on?
Um,
Those would be good ones, but
I'll ask the next person I talk to those two questions, and I will attribute it to you.
yeah, I hope that. No, 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 don't do that.
I won't.
You might be talking to someone serious, you know.
So the question I got from a writer friend of mine was, he wanted to know if you consider if he likes your music and your film, and he likes, there's a connect. He thinks there's a connection there. So his question is, do you consider your music psychedelic, and
No.
whether you do or don't?
Yeah, no.
No, you don't. Okay. And then what constitutes to you like psychedelic music?
When I think of psychedelic music, I guess I'm thinking of my 16-year-old self. I always thought of like 13th floor elevator, something with a theremin, involved. Um, yeah, more like I don't know. I guess that's the band that comes to mind really when I think of psychedelic music, uh,
Hmm.
which is, some kind of version of rock and roll, but just a little something wilder, a little more of a cowlick. But yeah, I find it very funny that the music I make, the images that I make sometimes, drawings, everybody thinks, everybody's trying to figure out the drug. I just find it really sad that
Yeah, right.
it all comes down to drugs, and it must not have anything to do with imagination or just
Mm,
who you are, or the things you see in your head or hear in
yeah.
your head. So that kind of drives me a little nuts. A
Hmm.
Casio keyboard's got a good 100, 200, sounds on there. It's hard not to get psychedelic if you use just five, six of them.
I suppose.
No,
All
and I
right.
think everything I do is pretty natural to just how it happens. I used to believe that everything had to be perfect, and that it was all about the structure. And I think when I reached about 16, 17 and started getting into the idea of Dada and things like that,
Hmm.
it kind of opened up a lot to me. And when I started recording music myself and writing music by myself, and I found that the mistakes were usually the things I liked most about what I was doing. And it was about how to incorporate those mistakes. And there really was no such thing as a mistake. Anytime, like in my home recordings, if I if I miss a note that I'm trying to go to or something like that, and I don't get it, I'll find a way to make it work, whether it's by going rah, 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 rah,
Oh yeah.
rah, rah, and wait till another measure and then come back in on the right note or
Yep.
whatever it is. And I find it very freeing. And I also find that through unconscious work and just going you know, um, by what you feel in the moment, sometimes it's so much more truthful and honest to what you are going through and to who you are at the moment, rather than trying to cultivate some kind of version of yourself that you want others to see you. I hate this. And
Yeah.
I think I used to care so much about what people thought that. And my grandma and grandpa come from classical, the Dallas Symphony, and my mom was, trained like in that way too. And with classical music, it's all about technique, and then it's all about um, kind of reinterpreting, a piece.
Hmm.
But if you don't have technique, you have nothing, you know.
Hmm.
And I was so impatient when it came to technique, that I just wanted the sticks to the drums. I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. I hate when people tell me what to do. And I found music to just be a space that I didn't really need anyone, to a degree. Now I'm limited because of that. But
Yeah.
but the other great thing is as you get better, your music changes. The better I get at piano is why I can make an album like The Mother Stone, or uh,
Hmm.
just because the longer you play, the better you get. The more you can do, the more ideas you can entertain, the less time it takes to do it, the more efficient you can become. And I like that with the growth of an instrument comes the growth of kind of songs that you make. Uh,
Yeah.
and when I listen back to what I was doing as like 17, 18, it's all folk music and really, really deeply influenced by Dylan. I was obsessed with Bob Dylan and the idea of what he did with a story. And like Bob Dylan's 115th Dream or something like that, and
Mm.
you just got so much of a mix of time frames, and different centuries in one story, and it can all exist on the same street if he wants. And it
Yeah.
really blew my mind. And also to be able to talk about, but he's someone that I think spoke very clearly, and you understand very clearly what he means. And yet there's also a mysticism because he combines so many things. And I think that really did something, to me. But of course, at the time, all I could do was kind of emulate it, uh,
Yeah.
kind of imitate it more or less. And I sometimes I think imitation is key to being able to find your own voice as well. I think I'm still finding those things, and it just so happens that the Beatles, the English accent, it was the only way I could do harmonies for the longest time. And if I wanted a 5, 6, 7, part, harmony, I found the accent, if I didn't make the R's harsh and things like that, I got away with it. It just sounded better to me. And so I think bands like the Brian Jonestown Massacre made me feel a little better about that, too, you know, or Sting, or something like that, or even the Kinks, I love how Ray Davies, fluctuates between voices. I've never realized I did it so much until I read other people talking about what I do that I realized, oh yeah, I guess I do. I guess they do change pretty quick. I guess there are a lot of parts in the song. I guess things don't come back, sometimes, but that's what I love.
Yeah.
And it just feels like if you don't do those things and you're not being true to yourself in some way. Some
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a musician very differently than you, but I am finding myself just sort of nodding over here, like, yeah, yeah, yep, that's right.
Yeah, like I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's got a band, Johnny Capri, um, a good friend of mine, John Cook, and we were talking about, he was saying he was gonna write a song a week, And I was going,
Hmm.
that's great, man. You can do that and everything. And I was going, if you can't, just start a song and record it, even if you don't know how it ends. And he's like, oh man, my brain doesn't work that way. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. My brain doesn't work the way your brain works either. I can't sit down for an hour and perfect a song and get it exactly how I want to then record it because it always feels stale by that point for me,
Hmm.
well he's really good at that and he needs to do that and that's great too.
Yeah, I just find that I over time, because I've been playing guitar since I was like 15, and at a certain point in my 20s, I I felt like I'd sort of plateaued with skill, but
I felt that up
but
until I found bar chords. I went, oh great.
no, exactly, and I'm terrible at them, and I know that's my next frontier. But my point is that I thought I plateaued, and so then I started playing more keyboards, which I'm still not very good at, but it gave me like a pause. And then when I
Yeah.
came back to it in my sort of mid 20s, I found myself able to kind of find new places to go within my skill set. So maybe I hadn't plateaued, and then I kind of relinquished that sort of need for perfection as you were talking
Oh
about, and sort of
yeah.
went with first, second, third takes, went with mistakes, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And sometimes you think it sounds bad and you listen back and you love it, or you go, "Ah,
Hmm.
that's not as bad as I thought. Yeah, it didn't hit the note, but man, that's nice.
Right.
I like the way it rubs, or hit two things on the piano next to each other, and you didn't mean to do that, but now the whole song and the end is going to incorporate itself because of that, around that, or
Hmm.
something. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And that's why I think also different instruments is also a key to different songs and different parts of you as well. I feel like you turn on an organ setting or something and it asks something else of you than when you put the Celeste, setting up,
Right.
and And I love that about sounds and tones, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Guitar, I feel like I can get angrier with it. Drums, I
Well,
feel
you can
like,
hit it.
yeah, yeah, drums you can smack as hard as you want.
Right.
Not the best drummers do that, but
Sure. But there is quite a difference to strumming a guitar really loud than pressing a key on some fake strings.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm just
But there, there's
I'm
weight in
into,
both.
yeah, yeah. And I used to always play everything hard, and I'm starting in the last probably year or two of I got a better microphone than I've ever had before, and I can hear a bit of the difference. I'm going, oh man, just strum that electric light, turn that up, and just yeah, that sounds so much better than turning it down and strumming hard. Doesn't feel as good, but don't worry,
Yeah.
the drums are just around the corner. So
Yeah.
come on.
So the second question I got from my colleagues that I thought was sort of interesting. Not sure if you'll really be able to answer it, but I thought it was a cool question. Has working in the films that you've worked in with the sort of eclectic assortment of, pretty acclaimed but pretty signature directors that you've worked with,
Mhm.
has any of that experience directly influenced your music at all?
Well, I mean, it's only because Jim Jarmusch that I was put in touch with Caleb over at Sacred Bones, and
The
so
great Sacred Bones. We should mention you work with the wonderful Sacred Bones.
yeah, so I'd say that's a big, that's a big that was a big deal for me,
Yeah.
extremely.
David Lynch has some records on, on the
Yeah,
label too.
yeah, yeah. And but I think everything influences everything. I think you'd be hard pressed to say not, that it doesn't.
Mm.
After I got done with the film I did in Australia, I came back and I had a lot
Hmm.
left over and poured it out into an album called The Bag of Rabbits that I don't know will ever see the light of day, but
It's a
you
great
know, and
title.
but it's that happens. I mean, I think the music is a reflection of everything that's going on, and it's a space where you can be as absurd as you want, which I love. Which means I can maybe touch upon everything that's going on loosely.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'd say very much. I think it all influences each other. This album and the last album very much because I was in New Mexico making a movie where I'm a robot. Is it about that? No, but
Right.
there's it definitely has everything to do with everything before and everything that was going on.
Hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about that Australian film.
Yeah.
While I have you. Um, I hope I'm saying the name right.
Yeah,
Nitram.
man, yeah.
Nitram. So that's by Justin Kurzel, great Australian director.
Cause that
Kurzel, sorry. See, of course I get like the weird title of the movie wrong, but I get his name. I mean, right, but I get his name wrong. Yes, Justin Kurzel.
that's okay. I didn't
Um,
know how to say it until I met him. How most folks
um,
go, I find.
yeah. He did past films like the Snowtown film. He did a really, really good Macbeth film that I'm an English teacher, so I make my kids watch that every year.
Yeah, what did you think about how that was played? Or what did you think
His
about? Because
his Macbeth.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I liked it as like an English teacher who, has taught and read Macbeth many
Mhm.
times. I've seen a few of the older versions. I don't know. I like his in general. I like his sense of place
Yeah,
and of mood. And I feel like it does a little bit of gentle sort of recontextualizing with some of the characters, especially with Lady Macbeth, that I found that for me
yeah.
worked.
I did like that very much as well.
And I think Marion Cotillard was a very good Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, I mean, she's always a very good
Right.
everything.
Right.
It's tough to find her being bad.
It's true. So you worked with Justin Kurzel on Nitram. You also worked alongside some pretty heavy hitters in, Australian
Yeah,
cinema like
absolutely.
Essie Davis and,
In
you
cinema.
know, Judy Davis. Yeah, the cinema, not even just Australian cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Don't limit it there, man.
no, it's true. They are, I mean, they're stars. It's fine. We can admit it. Yes, I should admit it. So yeah, so
The
Nitram,
great
pretty
Judy
dark.
Davis.
What? The great Judy
The
Davis.
great
Yes, the
Judy
great Judy
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah.
Um, so Nitram, pretty dark film. Um, I mean,
Season, of course, yeah.
yeah, pretty dark film, pretty dark, about a pretty dark chapter in Australia's history.
Yes.
Um, seems relatively challenging from multiple angles, I would think, to participate in a film like this, let alone as the titular character. Um, what leads you to want to do something like this kind of film? What excites you about this kind of film?
Certainly not the character. Um, it was the Sean script and Justin as a filmmaker. It was how they spoke about the film, but it really started with the script and seeing
Mm,
through the script what their attitudes were about it, their mission was with the film. Um, and then when I spoke to both of them and met both of them, it just kind of confirmed everything in the script, and I just felt that Justin, not just a strong storyteller, but someone who was also going to push me as I needed, to get to where we needed to make this, and also someone that I could possibly trust in the process, and who would also give me the room possibly needed to play the part, and yeah, it was really the boys though. uh,
mm,
just meeting them, the script, and then meeting them, and hearing them speak about it and why they felt it was important to make the film, and it's what I'm about as well as an actor, and
mm-hmm,
um, the responsibility I feel that we have as storytellers, but I shouldn't say storytellers because it makes it sound like fiction or something.
right.
Um, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. And I find it interesting a film like Nitram because it's about a real event that
Mhm.
for a while anyway, I know there's been some shifts in the past little while, but for a long time it made a heavy, heavy impact on Australia's, gun safety,
Yeah, extremely.
legislation and
Changed
changing of
overnight.
mentalities.
Yeah,
And we over in the States often will cite Australia as well, they, did away with XYZ back in the 90s and blah, blah,
right.
blah. But I don't think a lot of us really knew the story.
No, I certainly didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't even know that gun reform took place in Australia. I had no idea.
right.
Um, and yet, just last week or whatever, we had another school shooting.
Yep.
And the regularity at which it takes place is dumbfounding, and yet at the same time completely understandable. With I think the spaces that today's children their heads are in, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the loneliness, the separation from the world around them,
Mm-hmm.
not getting the help they need, and guns being all too easy to get a hold of, and what we do with the media, and how one person can think they're doing great by telling everyone about what's going on. At the same time, they're possibly showing someone else a solution to what they think, as a solution to their problems, which is not being seen, not being heard, not being validated by any means.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's horrifying. And I don't know, there's nothing I can say more or less, but with the film, there might be something that we could try to show to help others understand the reality of
Mm.
what is happening on our doorstep. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna ask sort of what you feel like the sort of greater purposes of making not just film but making art about these sort of dark painful moments, because there are always people who say that the darkest chapters of our histories, whatever country you're in, should be, they're in the past, let's stop chronicling them and immortalizing them and making art about them. But then there are so many others who can see and convey the
mhm,
purpose in that.
mhm. Yeah, and if we choose not to speak about it, then we're doing more harm, I think. if we choose not to talk about it with our children and with each other, we're only going to have it again and again and again. We're looking at war right now, and
Mm-hmm.
there's been war for forever and for the stupidest reasons, that
Yeah.
absolute, just most inane reasons, just because a bunch of fat cats, see fit and use the blood of the youth to do so.
Yeah.
It's beyond me, man. But I think it's beyond a lot of us, and yet it still happens all the time, and still same kind of greed, same kind of everything that existed from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I've asked my students similar questions to this before, but just sort of like asking them, why are there so many World War II movies?
Yeah, yeah,
Why every single year there's another one, but why do they keep getting made? It's not just because we love watching it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's deeper than that. And I've also asked them things, speaking of war, of like, what's the last war that we were participating in that you think generally people sort of were on board with?
Mm,
And most of the time they say World War II.
right.
And that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And yet there's been so much violence since then,
Hmm.
which then begs the question of, okay, well then why the hell is this? Why does it have to be like this if we're not in agreement on this? It's
Yeah.
very strange.
I can't answer those questions except
No, I can't
humans
either.
are humans are complicated and fucked up,
Yeah, I'll say.
and we'll always, but yeah, I mean, it's beyond me, and I wish there was. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
I wish I was, had a magic wand, but we don't. And
Oh yeah.
but what
No,
we
I
can
mean,
do is talk about it, and what we can do is try and educate each other and ourselves, better to so that we do understand. We don't understand why it's happening, then we really can't do anything about it, including the problem
hmm
we have with ourselves,
yeah,
Uh, and I think that's the first step to really trying to understand. And so I hope, but the film Nitram, it I hope it did that for some folks. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, well, that's all I can hope, is that
yeah.
people see it. I just wish more people in America saw it, to be honest.
That's unfortunately that's often the tale of especially international, but mostly, smaller independent films.
Yeah.
I mean, I just went to the theater over the weekend to see Tar.
Oh, how
So
was it?
it was good. It was, I mean, I'm a huge Kate Blanchett person.
I just saw her
So,
waving her hands around. I'm going, is that? Yeah,
well, I didn't know this, but
certainly looks
apparently,
exciting.
yes. Well, apparently the character's mentor is the real composer, Leonard Bernstein, and apparently that's something he did.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm looking at her movements. I'm sure she worked really hard to get it exact, but
Right.
she just,
But no, like I think like the character is literally supposed to be imitating him. So I'm
yeah,
assuming.
so it works.
I guess it works. I don't know, but it was. I mean, she was great. I'm
Well,
a
my
big
mom's
fan. So
dying to see it. I'm kind of
yeah,
on the fence because did you liked it though?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like I'm
Yeah, it was
walked
a
out there.
little.
It's
It was a
strong.
little long, honestly. And I'm not usually one to complain about that, but there
It
are
looks a
times
little
when
long. The trailer was short and didn't tell you much, which told me, okay, it's going to be a very long,
yes, it's a long, slow,
slow.
patient film, which I usually do love. But like, there were moments that I was sort of just like, I think we could.
I
I
think
think
we
we
could have
could move on.
cut that. I think we didn't need to hold for that long on that.
Yeah, but it looks cool. It's acted well, and it sounds really it has a good sound design. So like, it's worth seeing.
I
It's
need a
worth
little
seeing.
more than that these days.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
A lot of
um,
look great, sound great, and some.
that's true. And you know what? I walked out of Tar, and I felt pretty much this exact reaction immediately. And I was just like, that was good. Like, it was good. I didn't diss. I'm not unhappy I saw it, but I feel like everyone's been really loving and raving about it. And I was like, it's good. And it got me thinking, like, wow, I feel like it's been a long time since I've like walked out of a movie and been like, wow, you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, I can't really. I'm trying to remember that as well.
And yeah, I can't.
I
I
think
mean,
there's
I've missed a few this past couple years that I've wanted to see, but even the ones I've gotten to, I'm kind of like, that was good.
But see, I'm a big like 20s, 30s. I'm really I love old films, 40s, 50s, and I find those are also ones from across the pond, whether
Right, right.
Japanese or German or Italian. I find that, man, they were making some great films back then. And I just don't know, but I think the market is so different. I think people's
Yeah,
taste
yeah.
is so different. I think at the same time, I think if we had an Antonioni today, I think it would still register with people,
Yeah.
very much so. But do we have do we have
I mean, I'm sure
think that the
you
best
have
filmmaker?
modern working directors that you do enjoy. I do as well. But
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not sure we do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I love Paul Thomas Anderson, The
Sure.
Master, and The Phantom Thread both had me crying my eyes out at the end. But
Mm,
for some reason, I didn't see the new one, and I don't really know why. But
I didn't either.
like, but I didn't, and I have no idea why. Because he's been, I guess, one of the American filmmakers that's done that to me, in the last 10 years. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, I'm a big Kelly Reichardt fan. I like that sort of
yeah.
minimalism
Mhm.
sometimes, but yeah,
I
it's
just
been a
go back
while.
to the old people and I'm going,
Yeah.
man, like Bergman or whoever, and I'm going
Hmm.
Kurosawa, and I'm going, now these, now there's somebody with something,
There's a movie.
there's someone who knows what they're doing, and really understands the craft, and
Mm,
doesn't just have a lot of talented people around them, to
yeah.
tell them what's going to work or not.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't be so harsh. I think I'm such a cinephile that yeah, there have been so many incredible films that, maybe we'll look back in 30 years or something and go, wow, that Tar film was really
Yeah.
exceptional.
Yeah.
And same thing with pop of today. I really wonder how much of that 30 years from now I'll listen and be like, man, Dua Lupa, whatever her name is, she was great, or
Carly Rae Jepsen. I don't know.
but at the moment it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, maybe I mean, you weren't around in the 40s and 50s. Do you wonder maybe if that is how it works?
Oh,
Like
I
that
think
if
that
you
is. I think that is
like
how
maybe
it
when
works.
that, what's a
No, I
good
think, yeah,
example? Like,
Fellini came out and
right.
we don't need that. What was that? All that
Like
time.
La Ventura comes out and not everyone's loving it.
Yeah, yeah. That guy needs to get a real job. And this many years later, going, oh my gosh, master class in cinema.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening to Paul Thomas Anderson movies down the line. Not that they're not beloved now, but like
Yeah,
only growing
I
in
think he gets the
stature.
credit he did.
Yeah. But I could see them even growing more in stature.
Yeah, I can too. And
I just
it's
think
funny
that's
how
sort of how
time
we
works
work.
that way. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so you mentioned you like the old films. I don't know if can you remember like the first one or two films that really you saw and just like unlocked something in you and sort of made you realize, wow, like this is what film can do.
When I was really little, like really, really little, we had our first television, and we had a VHS of It's a Wonderful Life. We
Oh.
put that in, and I thought we had a black and white TV for the longest time. I thought all movies were black and white until I learned that, we just, it was either we didn't have a color TV or it's just a black and white film. And, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was just that the film was black and white and the TV was a color TV. But that movie made a big impression on me. Just I think, it felt like a film that was about real things. It was about humanity.
Hmm.
I felt that some of the ways the characters behaved were, whether it was hot dog or, it was just something about it reminded me of, to some degree, to how things are, or
Hmm.
I don't know. That movie I think made a big impact, but I think the biggest one was probably Tim Burton's Batman 1989.
Oh, nice.
I think I was like 4 years old, or I was in preschool, so I must have been like three or something. And I'll never forget watching that film, and the opening sequence, and the music, and that opening sequence where it's like you're driving in a car or
Mm.
something and you don't know where you're going, and then you pull out and you realize you just did the Batman symbol, and I remember going, whoa. And then that first line of the, kind of thing of the guy, and, Keaton coming in, little old Keaton coming in. And I just thought, and the bad guys looked, gross and, had,
Yep.
skin looked dirty and their nails were dirty. And it was this Gothic architecture that I had never seen before, and gargoyles and, really tall buildings. And there was just something about it. And then of course Nicholson and this whole character of the Joker. And I was just blown. I think to this day it gives me, I just think, man, what a masterpiece. And then the follow-up I thought was great, but I wasn't allowed to watch it for a while just because of a few scenes that were sensual, and sexual, and I think Vicky Vale spends the night or something like that, and so my mom didn't want me to watch it or something. But yeah, that Tim Burton's Batman really did a number on it. I think it was the equivalent to Sergeant Pepper's. It was also something that was just exciting,
Yeah.
scary. It was something familiar, and yet it was also something new. Um, yeah, but then I don't think that happened to me again until I was about 16, 17, and I saw Clockwork Orange. I was 6. I watched Clockwork Orange with my mom.
Weird.
No, I mean, it was the only way
Maybe it wasn't.
she was gonna let me watch it. I think she's a great mother for letting me watch it, because I don't know why, but I saw the cover, and I think I even stole it from the store.
Oh, good.
Might have put a different tag on it so I could afford it or something. But I don't know why, but the picture, just I had to see that film.
Yeah.
And that truly kind of started my love for movies. It was it wasn't until then that I realized a director, like a great author, like a Fitzgerald or somebody, that I could really look into everything that I was seeing, that I was experiencing, and that there was a reason for everything. And I found that just to be it relieved me a lot in a way. And after I
Yeah.
watched Kubrick for the next, I think, 3 years, everything I saw was through what I thought was a lens. I was looking at everything. How would you shoot that? How would you?
Right.
And I was, of course, in a symmetry because of that stuff. And then I got away from that and started thinking, but it's better to break it up, isn't it? And what is composition? And
Fuck the rule of thirds.
well, no, I disagree
No, no,
completely.
don't,
I think the rule of thirds, comedy, air of music, I think it works. And
I agree.
yeah, I think you can't get away from it. Uh, but I mean, but I think there are other rules too that yes, and you need to break it sometimes, and sometimes it's good that it goes into, what is it, 12 or something, 12 bars instead, or anyways, but something non-divisible by three. But I think the Beatles knew exactly what they were doing. you, you know, but then sometimes the rule of two, I think, is just as important. But anyways, yeah, so I guess Kubrick was the one who did it at 16. And then I had a roommate, this guy Noah Urias, and we were living together for a year, and he turned me on to Italian cinema. He turned me on to French cinema, new wave, and he turned me on to, I just didn't know any of it existed,
Yeah.
and then that just furthered everything that I'd already been obsessed about since Kubrick.
Shouts out to Noah.
What's that?
But shout out to Noah.
Oh, Noe? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, he really showed me that he'd just come out of film school, and he was a screenwriter. And so he had, I didn't know what Criterion Collection was or anything like that. And so I was just eating up all of the movies that he had,
Yeah.
and it was kind of a year after that I realized I needed to go to LA to, I wasn't going to be able to afford film school. That wasn't going to happen. But acting seemed like, I don't know why, but it seemed like maybe my way into to directing someday or something, or
Mm.
because I was obsessed with, I wanted to make Kubrick's Napoleon. I thought I was going to do that by, 2021. 23. I wanted to be before Orson Welles. I was also obsessed with Citizen Kane
Mm-hmm.
and the age at which he did it. And little did I know he'd had so much time in theater and things before that. But uh, yeah, I really thought that's what was going to happen. And
There's still time.
well, no, I think Spielberg, between Spielberg and some of the others, I think someone else was going to do that. I think Ridley Scott's already done it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Kubrick's Napoleon, but I got to tell you, I won't be in line for that one. But I think Ridley's lost it. But I think those last two movies were just horrible.
I actually don't think I saw them, so I can't agree or
The
disagree.
last duel was like a bad
Oh yeah, I
like
did.
a
I did not see the
Rashomon.
last two.
Yeah, it was like I'm going. Nobody in the cinema has seen Rashomon. They don't know that he's just copying.
Sometimes being a cinephile gets us in trouble, though.
Yeah, it does. But it was interesting. After that film, I talked to two people that saw the film, and I said, "So, what did you guys make of the ending? Did you guys think she wanted that to happen? That she wanted that, or no?" And they were like, the guy was like, "You wanted that," and the girl was like, "Yeah, I think she did." And I'm like, "Ridley, Ridley, Ridley, you little." You little shit, I think what he does in that film is just horrible.
Mm.
Just, I think it's irresponsible as well.
Well, if it's any consolation, not that you care, he'll never hear this.
That's true.
So,
And I can't take Ben Affleck in that haircut or as a king.
what's the last good Ridley Scott movie?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it?
I haven't seen it and a new one of his in a long time.
I don't know. I gotta say, I liked that movie a good year. The third act was a little, but I thought
I don't even think I saw
gave
that.
me a good feeling. I remember I watched it on a plane, so I was pretty high
Okay.
up in the air. So at least
Yeah.
that does something to you. But geez, I think Alien Blade Runner was where I ended. I'm not even a big Gladiator fan, but
Mm.
I guess I just don't like him that much. I don't know. You hear an interview with him and you just can't stand it. Well,
I'm really liking where we're going. Where we're going.
talking bad about Ridley Scott.
That's all right. He
That's,
made The Counselor. He expects it by now.
yeah. No, that's the
Oh
thing.
well.
Some people just, some people want to make money.
Yeah, although I feel like with Ridley, his movies might be sort of a mess, but they are kind of weird too.
Oh no, I think he's a very talented filmmaker. I think he's an incredible filmmaker. But that's probably why I'm so upset with the last several films of his, just because it's not the Ridley I remember.
Right. Well, oh well.
No, I mean, Blade Runner blew my mind when I saw that.
Hmm. Did you like the 2049?
I mean, I tried watching it twice and I keep falling asleep. Uh,
That's a long movie.
well, it's just, gee, man,
But I
Ryan
did like it.
Gosling as our main emotional core that's not supposed to have these emotions. It's just, I can't, there's nothing pulling me in except the visuals.
Yeah,
I
it's
need, I
very
need,
pretty.
I want a Cassavetes. I want,
It's very pretty and it sounds nice.
yeah, but I want some meat. I
Right.
want, I want to see, I want to get into the head of some people. I don't want,
That's totally fair.
and I think Denise, I love his, what is it, Incendies, I think is a really
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
film.
That's a great film.
So,
I'm a big fan of his, but kind of similar to a lot of directors that I
yeah,
like, that I liked 10 years ago. I'm sort of like, all right, I'm still on your side, but I'm getting
yeah, but
nervous.
get away from Dune, man.
Yeah, like I liked Arrival, but
Yeah, but that was,
I did like the Blade Runner film enough, but like I'm just getting to a point of like, okay, I'm getting a little anxious here.
yeah. I want you to go back to an enemy or something a little
Enemy, what a
smaller.
weird fucking movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I quite
so it's
like
such a
it.
cool film.
I do not like what's his name, Jake Gyllenhaal. I despise him, but Denis did good.
Yeah, it was smart casting. I'm a huge Prisoners fan too. Like no one likes Prisoners anymore. I don't know why. I loved Prisoners.
I just can't stand Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, he's in that too.
Every time I watch him, I just see a guy pushing, pushing.
Well, he'll never listen to this either, so it's fine.
No, yeah.
Oh geez. I guess we should have just been reviewing things this whole time, but that's this sounds like fun, but
Sorry to be so negative, but
no, it's fine. I'd
I
love
loved
to
him in I loved him in Donnie Darko.
well, it's not the Jake you
It's
remember.
not the Jake I know.
Jeez.
It's a
Oh,
Prince of
I
Persia Jake that I can't stand.
Prince of Persia. Oh, even he regrets that, let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm
But
good reason.
I would love if you had a movie review podcast. That'd be fun.
No, I don't think I'd work very
You'd
much.
you'd get yourself in trouble.
Good, I don't get many opportunities to talk. Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately,
I've enjoyed it.
unfortunately, I don't like much.
That's fine. I think that's fine. I mean, it just means you have specific taste.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Maybe.
look at it. Yeah.
Let's put it
No,
that
I
way.
just think it's tough. It's tough to go from Mozart to Machine Gun Kelly. It's tough to go from Kurosawa to a CJ Fukenfucker. It's pretty tough for me to, to find good things,
Damn.
in this, these people.
So then my last question being, which I already had pre-planned, but now I want to ask even more. Um, so then what does excite you these days? Like what do you look for if you are watching something new that would excite you?
I mean, I think I watched, Paris, Texas last year.
Mm,
I thought that was a pretty nice, beautiful film. I loved, of course, Harry Dean Stanton and the kids' relationship. I thought was just pretty amazing, and
yeah.
I loved I forget his name. He played his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was named two-time can winner, I think, or something. But I thought he was just throwing everything away, and it was just really natural. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, the things I look forward to now, I suppose, are uh, I guess I recently watched Joe versus the Volcano, and I quite liked that movie.
Mm,
I thought the emotional core of the film was strong and gave allowance to be as absurd as as the movie was. But yeah, I think I just want to see something real to the person, to the people in the making it.
yeah.
I want to see. I'm tired of seeing violence for no reason. I'm tired of seeing shock for the sake of shock. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I love Michael Haneke. I think,
Yeah.
despite what some people say, I think there's a lot of love in some kind of strange way in his films. But then I see a movie like The Pianist, and I don't need the wide shot of her cutting her vagina with a razor. It's a really great film, but there's aspects, there's just things where I feel like
Right.
people, I think he's a masterful filmmaker, but something like that, that wide shot takes me away from it somehow. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
because of the, violence or anything, but it's because I think I already understand the horror of what's going on psychologically with the character. And I don't need to see that physical representation because he's already shown it to me through the relationship of the mother or her students or the guy she's making love to. No, I shouldn't say making love, but for her, well, anyways, that's another thing. But
Right.
I don't know. And I think that's why I appreciate the older filmmakers because through the limitations that they had to be more imaginative. They had to really use the medium in a way to support their ideas. And right now, because there's I think such an allowance for things, good and bad. People don't have to be as imaginative in a way, and somehow we've gotten to this thing of to show it is better than to insinuate, or
Mm.
like the end of Melancholia. I loved
Mm-hmm.
the first act. I thought the first act was incredible, but
Yeah,
the
me
third
too.
act, I didn't want to see the thing coming to Earth.
Right.
I don't want to see the CGI BS. I don't want to, and it takes me out of the film. And the third
Right.
act just completely just destroyed everything that he built for me in the first, in middle of the second. And so it's just I don't really I don't know if I know exactly what I'm looking for, but
Mm-hmm.
I want something real to the person making it, something true to them, I think. And I think it's very easy to discern this or that, I think it's very evident in the work, and you can tell pretty easily. And but I don't know where people's tastes are these days. They seem to be just um, a little. I think they differ from mine a bit in the mainstream. I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe they always have. I've only been around for 30 years, so talking like I've been around 100 or 200, but yeah.
Hmm. So your new record, Gadzooks Volume 2, we should re-mention, is coming out on election day,
Yeah. So
people.
go vote and then go buy an album. If
Yes,
you don't
please
buy
do.
mine, at least look it up.
Yeah, at least say, what's that
At least
over
say,
there?
what's that
It
strange?
does have a pretty, I mean, it does have a pretty striking cover. It's like the happier version of Volume 1's cover.
Yeah. That's what. That's what. Well, there's a little heart accidentally with the hands, but
Mm,
uh, yeah, that's my girlfriend Katya. She's done all the artwork for the albums and the.
even Motherstone.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's the reason why I'm wearing a wig. And it was
Right
just
on.
the best image from what we created, and it was very apparent to both of us that we got to do that, which made it hard for any other image afterwards because
Right.
for us to top what we thought was amazing, But yeah, I also think it's a bit cuter than the one before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little smile in there, creepy smile, but little smile.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean,
A little,
it's fitting.
that
All
kind
right. Well, thank you very much, Caleb. I've had quite a fun time talking to you today.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for questions, and I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, thank you. So check out his album on or right after Election Day, and just thank you for giving me your time today.
Yeah, and thanks to the 95 people who have pre-ordered it. The label wants 2,000, so if we could get a few more, that'd be great.
Yeah, yes, pre-order it. This might even be out after it's out, but if it's not, then pre-order it. All right.
All right, thanks, man.
Take care, Caleb.
Bye.
Bye-bye.